All right, guys, beautiful day, amazing moment, great news happening in Africa. Guys, there are great things happening in this continent. I don't know, if you're in the continent, I think you see what is happening. A lot of times we come here to share about, bad things, specifically politically. Politically, continent is very unstable. But despite of all of those things, we are still making progress. Guys, can you imagine? All right. There's no country in this world that they are not facing different situation, politically, economically, and everywhere there's a problems of their own. But here in the continent is a little bit different. It kind of feels like we have like 70% of issues and 30% of good things happening. Yet, we are still here. Yet we're surviving. All right. Sometimes we talk about colonization and all that, how our people were, mistreated and everything, our ancestors, I talk about our brothers and sisters, African descendants outside of the continent, what they went through and where they are today. You see a lot of billionaires, black billionaires happening. We are born to survive. Like, we have this nature inside of us. God has given us special privilege to survive through difficult environment. All right, we were not created to face that. I got to be sure about that. We were not created to face difficult, but we have this thick skin developed deep within us that we are able to go through anything and we come out tall. All right, I remember the time of COVID-19, how we came out tall. I remember the malaria thing. In other countries, they don't even know what malaria is. But in Africa, we still struggle today. Why? Because it kind of seems like we cannot eradicate malaria, which I have different opinion with that, because some people, they just want to earn money through pharmaceutical industries, because we can actually eradicate malaria in our continent, but we don't do it. Anyways, let me go to today's news, guys. First, 3 Tanzanian made aircraft begins operation, guys. So there is airplane that is made in Tanzania, and it was actually made, this is started in 2024, but they kind of launched a couple weeks ago. There were kind of like 9 to 10 different individuals, Tanzanian guys. They made this airplane called Sky Leader 600, small plane that they say actually will be used for irrigation system, agriculture, security, and so on and so forth. But this is not kind of something that Tanzanian assembled. No. They built it from the scratch, guys. Built it from the scratch, and it's safe. In Tanzania, we have Air Tanzania, by the way. It has been operating for a couple of years right now. I think it's more than 5 years and so on. And that actually is one of the safest transportation system in the country, right? We never got any kind of accident. That just shows the commitment and how Tanzania are dealing with aircraft and everything. Let me show you something, by the way. I just see here. So this is the logo. This is the logo of Tanzanian airline, right? It's kind of like the logo, right? It's safe. It's good. It's wonderful. I've used it a couple times. So we have a good reputation when it comes to safety. And these are not the planes that we created by ourselves, right? But the Sky Leader 600, I've actually seen some of the people were talking that, okay, we were a little bit concerned how it's going to happen. Tanzania, how can we make plane? They were actually being interviewed and wondering. They said, no, this cannot be possible. They were thinking about these kind of like wooden airplane or whatever, but this is beautiful airplane, guys. As you can see the picture here, this is how it looks like. This is how it is, right? And they made couple trial, and it is safe, it is secure, all right? And they're still making it. So one of the things is the materials used for this airplane has been actually imported from the official companies that have certificate of creating airplane and everything, right? So it's safe in that sense. But Tanzanian people made this plane from the scratch, from zero to something. African people made this plane from zero to where it is today. Kudos to that, guys. First of all, this is for Tanzania. And this is for those young men who have done this. I think now it is the time, not only to make 3, not only to make 5, but I think it's the time to open up an institute in Tanzania where these guys who created manufacture this airplane, they have to do the same thing to other guys as well. They have to train other guys. Other people have to learn how to do it. We need to have a knowledge transfer from these guys to other guys. Because guys, let me tell you this again. Not white men, not Asian, not whatever, anybody else, but Africans have done this. We have seen a lot of news, African making cars. We've seen some news from Zimbabwe. One of the guys, he made a car. We've seen a lot of stories in the continent. This is just shows the ability of our people. The continent of Africa gives, like, every single year more than 10 million young people are graduating from university. But the continent gives only 2 million jobs. We have 8 million young people, they don't have jobs every time they graduate from the university here in the continent. What does this tell us? That we need to open up industries. We need to open up more businesses to hire our people. Because majority of these young people are actually university students, graduates from university, but they don't have job. Well, this is the opportunity. Because we have engineers who actually made plane from the scratch and now it's flying. Why not opening up university? Why not opening up the factories where little young people can come and learn how to do it? Most of young people in the continent today, they're riding borders. I've been to Uganda, I've seen the same thing. It's worse actually in Uganda. I've been to Rwanda, I've seen the same thing. I'm here in Tanzania, I see the same thing. Kenya, I see the same thing. Nigeria, I see the same thing. In the entire continent of Africa, a lot of young people with vision, with determination, with education, they're riding border. Border, guys, is motorcycle. All right. So what does this tell us? It's not a bad thing to ride border. You can do it, but a lot of young people, they're going there because there's no employment opportunities. So I've seen teachers riding borders. I've seen doctors riding borders. I've seen these people who are dealing with pharmacy riding borders. I've seen economists dealing with borders. This has to tell us something in the continent, that we need to do something very urgent to change the lives of our people. Because if this is how future looks like, then it's a little bit scary. Because these people, they have families, they have wives, they have children. How are they going to take care of them if the only job they do is riding border? I don't believe anybody should ride border, by the way, because there's a lot of things happening. We're losing a lot of people dying every single day. So I believe there has to be a different kind of way to use this energy of these young people in the industries, in the companies, in the factories. There have to be a way to hire these people. There have to be the way to use the power and the energy of these young people to produce mass production in the continent. But right now in the continent, we don't have mass production. Why? Because we are the source of raw materials. Where are the industries? Are outside of the continent. They produce it for us. And then they bring it to us with higher price. The clothes we wear, the cotton come from the continent. But once they go there, they add value. And then we buy with perceived value and not really primal value. We have something called primal value and perceived value. So that is what happened to our continent. But if we produce in our continent, if we process in our continent, if we sell in our continent, what tells us? It does not just give us economy, but also it provides employment to our people. We can reduce the number of borders on the street. And these young people can actually work and provide for their families, and the continent and the countries can prosper as well. I'm not against borders. I love you guys because I use you guys all the time. But I think it's the time for the continent to wake up. If these young people made airplanes, Sky Leader 600, what about the 10 million young people who are graduating from the university every single year in the continent? What can they do? They'll do wonders. Opportunities are there. Manpower is there. And it's the time to show the plan. As the leaders and the continent and the countries show the plan. People are there, opportunities are there. So if people meet with that opportunity, you only have success. You'll only have success. That is what will happen in the continent. That's what will happen in our countries. Guys, let me know in the comment section about these young people who made this Sky Leader 600. Kudos to you guys. Kudos to Tanzania. I see a transformation in in this sector, in aviation sector, in the continent and in Tanzania as well, because these flights can actually be used as a taxis around the country. I can use this craft from here, Tanzania, to Uganda, to Kenya. Okay, but one of the things that I want to say before I leave, a lot of time when there's innovation like this in the continent, we get a huge resistance from the Western countries. But my advice is this: no matter what happens, let's keep focusing. Let's keep moving ahead. Let's keep moving forward. We don't need their permission to do what we can do. No, we need to do what we can do for our people. Because you're not working for them, we're working for our people. So Tanzania, move forward. Tanzania, continue. Tanzania, never stop. Tanzania, keep producing, keep manufacturing, keep moving forward. So we're going to get to the promised land. Appreciate it, guys. This is the journey to One Africa.